Welcome to the Button List podcast, coming at you live from Beating Dreams in Dallas, Texas, featuring Allison
and Heather. During this broadcast, we will delve into the stories of famous gemstones, past and present, looking to amuse, delight, and possibly disturb you.
We record live weekly, and we invite you to join in the online conversation every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube.
Just a warning, sometimes we get a little spicy.
Please be aware that the following broadcast may contain mature content.
Thank you for supporting small businesses.
And we hope you enjoy our show.
Yay! Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Button List podcast, coming at you live from Beating Dreams in Dallas, Texas, featuring Allison
and Heather.
So, Heather.
Yes, Allison.
I have a question.
Oh, I have an answer.
If I start a story by saying, this stone was stolen from the third eye of a Hindu statue, how do you think the story is going to end?
Poorly.
Yes.
Poorly. Very. He chose poorly.
Yes.
Yes.
He dead. She dead. They dead. He insane. Then dead. So today we have for you all the stories of two famous, supposedly cursed diamonds, the Black Orloff and the White Orloff.
Which are not actually related, believe it or not. They're just lots of Orloffs.
There's just lots of Orloffs. Orloffs everywhere. Orloffs just falling from trees in Russia.
Probably
apparently.
Because of the curses.
Yeah. Well, no, they were falling from buildings, actually.
Right, that's true. Yes. Spoiler alert.
Hashtag spoiler alert.
The Black Orloff, also known as the Eye of Brahma Diamond, was originally a 195 carat stone. Again,
that is big.
195 carats.
Large.
That was mounted as the third eye on a statue of Brahma, not Brahms.
Because Word totally autocorrected it to Brahms. That is a totally different statue.
The timing would have worked. It could have been a statue of Brahms, but I would like to see a statue of Brahms with the third eye, first of all. But Brahma, in a shrine in Pondicherry, India, the stone was stolen by either a wayward monk or a Jesuit cleric. My money is on the latter. In the 19th
Are you
century.
impugning the honor of the Jesuits?
Well, if we mean by monk, if we mean a Christian monk?
No, it was evenly divided in all the literature that I read, but it was a Buddhist monk.
Yeah, any good Buddhist monk would not
carve out the third eye of Brahma
for 17 different reasons.
Yeah.
First of which is,
maybe if it was the third eye of Brahms, then the monk would have done it.
Then the monk could have done it with absolutely no karmic deficit whatsoever. Because who cares about Brahms in India?
Fair.
But the thieving monk or cleric was which makes a huge difference if you're playing D&D, was supposedly found dead under mysterious circumstances. Ooh. The diamond resurfaced in the U.S. in 1932 in the possession of diamond dealer J.W. Paris.
And what happened to J.W. Paris, Heather?
Well, he was the one raiding from a building. He unalived himself by jumping off a skyscraper.
I believe actually onto Fifth Avenue.
Oh, well,
Because why not just do it in style?
Right. After Paris the person, not Paris the place, the diamond was owned consecutively by two Russian princesses, and I just would like to note here that Allison said, I'm going to let you say the Russian names.
She still loves me.
I do, but
she just hates me a little bit.
Just a little. It's soupçon.
A little soupçon of hate?
Yes.
Just kind of sprinkled on there?
Sprinkled on there.
Yeah. Like, sprinkle that hate.
But hate. So two Russian princesses, Leonila Golitsyn, Baryan...
You were so close! You were so close! Oh my gosh. So close. Try again.
Beretinsky!
Woo!
And Nadia Vigan Orloff, which is the person after whom this diamond is named. Both women also jumped to their deaths in the 40s.
So apparently that was the fad for committing suicide. It was jumping off of things.
Horrifying. No. At the time, the diamond was still intact. 195 carat whopper. That is a whopper, or as my nieces always used to say, a whooper.
Okay, so in the 50s, so we've had, J.W. Paris, he dead off a skyscraper. We have 2 Russian princesses, they dead. Unclear what they jumped off of, but whatever it was tall enough to kill them.
Yes.
So the diamond came into the possession of Charles F. Winson in the 1950s. He was a diamond dealer. And so Charles, and I kind of wonder, what is the thought process behind this? Charles decided that to break the curse, he would recut the stone into 3 pieces.
Break the diamond, break the curse?
I know, but why 3 pieces? Why not 2 pieces? Why not 7 pieces?
Because 3 is a good number.
That's fair. And this is kind of the crazy thing. Okay, so he took this 195 carat stone, he recut it into 3 pieces, and the stone that is part of the title of this podcast, the Black Orloff, wound up being a 67.5 carat black faceted diamond. Winson had it set into a brooch of 108 diamonds in the shape of a laurel wreath suspended is the word I'm looking for, from a necklace of 124 diamonds. But here's the thing that I don't get. No one seems to know what happened to the other 2 stones. They just because, okay, you got 195 carats. You got 67.5 carats for the Black Orloff. That means you still got basically 130 carats of black diamond that just went poof. I mean,
I don't know.
All the articles that I read, you're shrouded in mystery. Okay, and I also have to say that some of these people who write articles online make me want to just eat sand, because it's how can you write a 3-page article and impart no actual information during that time?
It's a talent.
It's a talent that's really freaking annoying. So there's not actually a whole lot out there on the Black Orloff. It's a whole lot of the exact, 2 paragraphs just being fluffed and expanded over pages. I mean,
Don't knock
it is.
Fluffers. They serve an important job.
It's the angel food cake of diamond stories, apparently. But yeah, so the 2 And no, I did not go visit the National Archives or anything, but I could not find a single record of what happened to the other 2 stones, that came from the original 195 carat piece.
So if anyone has any information,
yes,
as to their whereabouts,
share. But the Black Orloff, in the setting with the necklace of 124 diamonds, was purchased by diamond dealer. See, I do have a name here too.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Batimizis. Dennis Diamond Dealer Dude.
Yes.
Bought it in 2004 for apparently $350,000, which actually sounds pretty low.
It does.
To me. According to Mr. Dennis, he says he's pretty confident that the curse is broken, has been quoted as saying, "I've got to tell you, after all, I'm still alive, and things have only gotten better." Heather apparently has more info about Dennis Diamond Dude.
See, I had to look him up. I Googled this man, because 2004 is within the Googleable era very easily. Because that is just so much chutzpah to just be like, yeah, curse must be broken. Everything's grand. So apparently 15 years later, in 2019, Mr. Dennis did just retire as he chose from the jewelry business. He actually wasn't even in the jewelry business on purpose. He went to, I found this
How do you accidentally get in the jewelry business?
Well, I mean, I did.
You sought out employment, so that was only semi-accidental.
He was also seeking out employment. So it was 1974, and I found an article from his local paper about the business closing. And this is where I got all of this information.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So he seems like a lovely man. In 1974, he happened to walk into this jewelry store in Pennsylvania, and he needed his cross pen refilled. So he was nattily dressed in a suit because he was also on the search for a job, just like I was. And that's what you did back then. You dressed up and you hit the road and you went into as many businesses as you could. And while he was there getting his pen refilled, they tried to sell him a diamond ring, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not your audience, but maybe if you want to hire me." So they ended up hiring him as a porter, and at that point, there was a porter to take things between the jewelry business itself and their repair center. So that's what he did for a while, and then he was trained in management. He took GIA classes, and starting in 1975, he bought out his partner at the time and went out on his own and never looked back. I mean, he was just in the jewelry business from then on. And so he bought the Orloff Diamond in 2004, and nothing bad happened to him. He didn't jump off of anything. And in fact, the story that he told the newspaper about what made him want to retire was so cute, I couldn't not share it. So that's why there's this sidebar. So apparently he and his wife Dee Dee were in Manhattan for something, and I think they were in Central Park, and there was a big snowstorm that was blowing in, and they told everyone seek shelter as quickly as you can, and they elected not to rush and just sort of walk back to the hotel in the snow. And he said it was just the most magical experience. He said, I was with my love. We were in this beautiful place. There were no people around because everyone had rushed off to be out of the snow. And it was just incredible. And he said, I knew right then, I just wanted to create more magical memories like this while I could. And so he decided to retire. Isn't that cute?
That's really adorable. That is definitely adorable.
And then he said, somebody said, are you going to still work at all? And he was like, well, I might work in Dee Dee's. She owned at least in 2019, she still owned a beauty salon. And he was like, I might work there.
Oh my God. She's going to be a shampoo girl.
I know, it's so cute. So
that's very cute.
Yes, so apparently the diamond was only cursed for some and not for others.
Yes.
So anyway, thank you for indulging me on that.
No, that was a very sweet story.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about the other Orlov diamond, which is completely unrelated. So this is a White Orlov, and I am on the right page, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Go me. Page numbers for future podcasts. So the White Orlov is okay, so intrigue, speculation, possibly murder. Okay, so
not by Dennis though.
No, not by Dennis. So we like Dennis. He's good people.
Yes.
So the White Orlov is a 180 carat, bless you, white diamond. So there are two.
It's so tiny.
Yeah, right. So according to one account, the White Orlov is 180.6. That 0.6 is very important. Carat white diamond. The diamond was supposedly found in the 17th century in Golconda, India. Meaning it was probably an alluvial diamond like the Koh-i-Noor. According to one legend, a French soldier who had deserted during the Carnatic Wars in, Srirangam, I believe, disguised himself as a Hindu convert in order to steal it in 1947 when it served as the eye of a temple deity in Sriranganathar? That. Okay, seriously. People, stop stealing stones from the statues.
Why?
Why? Why do you think this is a good idea?
No.
But that might just be a story, because there's also speculation that the White Orlov is actually another diamond called the Great Mogul Diamond, that these two diamonds are actually the same stone that's kind of been winding its way through history. So I'll let Heather tell you about the Great Mogul Diamond.
So Mogul, Mogul, not Mughal, Mughal.
Both
different.
of those.
I mean, it was both of those, but different. But the Great Mogul was a large diamond that is believed to have been discovered around 1650, most probably around the Kalur mine in the Golconda region of southern India. Thank you, Allison, for giving me the easier Indian words.
You're welcome.
This time.
I mean, you helped me with the hard one, so.
Yeah, well. The 787 carat.
But note, same region of origin as the previous story about the White Orloff.
Yes. So 787 carat. 787 carat.
Yeah, that's big.
157.4 gram rough diamond was gifted by Emir Jemla to Shah Jahan, the 15th Mughal emperor, as part of diplomacy between the two families. We do like diplomacy.
We do.
Diplomacy's good.
And you may remember Shah Jahan from the Kohinoor podcast.
Yes. So we'll have a couple of overlapping characters in this podcast with that one. So this would have been in the 17th century. A Venetian lapidary named Ortensio Borgio.
This is the best part.
Oh, Ortensio.
Oh, Hortensio. Oh, poor misguided man.
He was assigned to cut the stone for reasons, and those will become less and less clear as I continue to talk here. It is believed that the Great Mogul Diamond exhibited several inclusions, which, remember, in Mughal diamonds, because again, we've got two words that mean very different things, but in Mughal cut, size was more important than having any inclusions.
Hi, Dad!
So, hello, Dad. So, you went ahead and cut it even with inclusions because that wasn't...
Right, because size does matter.
Size does matter.
Size matters to the Mughals.
Yeah. Mughals. And also the Mughals, I guess.
But, but Heather, what did Ortensio Borgio do?
Well, instead of deciding to cut the diamond into multiple stones, like he could have done, like a normal person might have done.
Yeah.
He, and I quote, and I know that Allison is quoting as well. Borgio decided to address the inclusion problem by grinding away at it until the unwanted flaws were gone.
Because that's exactly what you want to do with the priceless
Just grind
stone.
away.
Grind away at it.
At a diamond.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Much to the horror of the emperor, Borgio's work yielded very poor
Shock
results.
and horror.
Shock and horror.
Yes.
Shock, awe. Yes.
Shock, awe. No awe, just horror.
Yes. Including a great loss of weight. I don't know why. From the grinding away,
grinding
possibly?
Yeah.
Shah Jahan spared Borgio's head, which I feel...
Like, was very generous of him.
I am always for sparing people's heads, but again, in this day and age, in this culture, that is rather generous.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm having trouble with the word find. I changed tenses and then completely confused myself. So he fined him 10,000 rupees. Which is all the money.
Which is not a lot of money, but it's all the money that he had.
He's like, you give me everything.
You give me everything you have, and then you go lay in the mud.
Yes. So that's what he paid for his ineptitude, and he got to keep his head, and probably not his job.
I doubt it.
Because, again, choices were made. Later, the Great Mogul Diamond, which the lesser Great Mogul Diamond, was
the Insmolland Great Mogul Diamond.
Was transferred to Lahore Suba and became part of the spoils of war when Mughal India was invaded and sacked by the Persian ruler Nadir Shah.
Welcome back, Nadir Shah.
Yes. So Nadir Shah liked him some Mughal diamonds as well, including the Mogul Diamond. And he didn't even know so much smaller at this point. He was just like,
great,
hey, mine. So Nadir Shah returned with the stone to his home in 1739.
And then what happened, Heather?
However, his ownership proved short-lived.
What?
I know. I mean, he was assassinated in 1747, which, was he had a good 8 years with it. And the stone disappeared. Y'all.
Disappeared. Poof.
One of these stones went unaccounted for. So if the Great Mogul is actually the White Orloff, it resurfaced in Amsterdam in 1774 in the care of an Iranian millionaire. And an 18th century millionaire in today's money, that would be a lot of money, because Carol and I were looking up finances, and the reason, so I was looking for a specific number. I was not able to find a specific number for you, but I can get you close to it. So Shafras, who was the Iranian millionaire who then owned the diamond, found an eager buyer in Hofhans Lazarian, who acted on behalf of Count Grigory Grigorovich Orloff. The Count, and you might guess that Orloff has something to do with the name of the stone in the future. So the Count paid a purported 1.4 million Dutch florins for it. And I wanted to have a number for you in present day dollars. Instead, I've got another little rabbit hole for you, which is really kind of interesting. So florins were named after the first unit of gold coins that were struck in Europe, and actually that, not the first gold coins, but the first gold coins that really influenced commerce in Europe at any point that we knew of in the, more modern European, not union, because this was 1287 when I'm talking about. So, but by more modern, I mean like not Roman.
There you go.
But so they were called florins because they were from Florence. However, the florins were so widespread that they were everywhere. So in the Netherlands, they also used florins, and originally they were the original florins, like the ones from Florence. And I really liked the detail that the tail side of the coin is the fleur-de-lis, or the flore, which is the symbol of Florence. And the other side is John the Baptist in a hair shirt. And he has the littlest funny little tiny stick legs. They're just like, they spent all of this time and effort on the hair shirt details. Like, it is, their little hairs coming off the edge of his hair shirt, and then just like these cartoon character legs that are so stick-like and hilarious. And I loved that. And again,
so somebody got paid by the hour, and they had a limited number of hours that they were compensated for. They were like, oh shit, he needs legs. Yeah.
Man, there's just this empty spot down there.
Doink, doink.
But it's not actually big enough for both feet. So there's one foot that it's like, it's at a really weird kind of posy angle. Like John the Baptist was getting a little saucy. It is really funny. We should try to post a picture.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
So anyway, originally everything was named Florence because they all were florins from Florence. But then the Netherlands started, and the Dutch government started to use guilder florins. So they were actually guilders, but because they'd been called florins for so long, because they'd been using somebody else's currency, they just kept calling them florins or guilder florins, or the original name went from florins to golden florins, which also was how it turned into guilder florins. And because that was the name in Dutch for golden. And so guilders, florins, guilder florins, golden florins, they're all the same thing. So the number that I was able to find for you all, besides the John Baptist hair shirt, which was not a number, but not be left out. Could not be left out. Wow. Could not be left out. So 100 florins in the year 1600, and there wasn't actually a lot of change in the currency, not a lot of inflation or anything like that from 1600 to 1700. So yes, we are talking about 1774, so it's a little bit later, but not much. The Netherlands were very stable until the whole tulip thing. So 100 florins was equal to about $6,000 American dollars.
Holy
in today's
crap.
money. Yeah. So 1.4 million is a lot.
So what you're saying is oh no, not Mr. Dennis didn't buy this one.
No,
No.
Mr.
Wow.
Dennis.
Mr. Dennis bought the other one.
For his $350,000, got a steal of a deal on an Orloff Diamond.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1.4 million Dutch florins.
Wow. Also, by the way, I think this podcast just like summited a new height of nerdiness with that rabbit hole.
Yes,
I'm
think
pretty
you are
sure.
correct.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, how many podcasts out there use the word guilder florins? Just taking a poll.
Not a whole lot, at least not in English.
Exactly.
So just saying, yeah. So that was fun to look up, and I am very glad I did, because once again I got to see John Baptist in the hair shirt.
God.
This little cartoon.
Oh my god. Okay.
So, yes, and Count Grigory, who now possessed the extremely expensive diamond, gave the jewel to Catherine the Great, his secret lover.
So let's talk about Grigory for a moment.
Yes.
Grigory Grigorievich Orlov. So for a time, he was very influential in the Russian court. He was a noted art collector. He owned lots of property, some of which was actually a gift to him from Catherine. Practically his entire art collection is actually now in a museum in Russia, I believe. Orlov played a pivotal role in the 1762 coup that deposed Peter III and installed Catherine as empress. And Catherine as empress was the longest ruling female monarch of Russia. And so he kind of solidified himself as a key figure in court, and for a period of time he effectively shared power with Catherine. However,
which was pretty impressive.
Yes. However,
choices were made.
So his repeated infidelities and conflicts with other advisors eventually led to his downfall.
And dramatic it was.
Yes. Okay, and this is a Carol note which I am going to read verbatim.
Oh yeah, because
this is amazing. Okay, so after Grigory fell from Catherine's grace, apparently that was what actually, so his fall from grace is what prompted him to gift her the diamond, hoping to rekindle their affections, period. It didn't help, period. This is why I love Carol so much. So after giving her a giant hunk of carbon, and it still did not rekindle her favor for him.
Well, he shouldn't have cheated on her, probably.
Yeah, probably. Well, and then, so okay. Oh well. So Vsad, Count Grigory's Vsad, he left the Russian court, and in 1777, at the age of 43, he married an 18-year-old relative. It is unclear whether she was a niece or a cousin.
Still?
Yeah. I don't think either one of those is there's no good choice there. That's a double thumbs down for Grigory. So she died in 1781, at which point Count Grigory went insane and died.
Yeah, well.
So there you have it. That's Grigory. The beginning and the end.
But interestingly, Catherine is the one who named the stone after the Count.
Oh, my poor spurned lover who married his niece and went mad and died.
Yeah. Guess I'll just have to settle for this giant diamond instead.
Yeah. Oh, so sad. You know what? In my current state, I'm kind of thinking the giant diamonds are less trouble than men.
Men are such headache.
So, and this cursed gems. So all of the literature that I read talks about both the Black Orloff and the White Orloff being cursed. But really, the White Orloff only seems to have been cursed for Grigory. So really, was that actually a curse, or was that just bad choices on his part?
I mean, I'm going to say that...
And possibly syphilis.
Also that. Nadir Shah, I mean, he didn't fare very well with it, but to be fair, both Shah Jahan and Nadir Shah had quite a few cursed jewels in their possession.
No, they did. They had they definitely had the evil axis of cursed gemstones.
Yeah, I don't think that we can blame their curses specifically on this stone. So I think it was just
also possibly the fact that they were like sacking countries and killing people.
It's like the exchange.
I mean, so really, was it cursed gemstones or was it just karma for being, trash humans?
I think it's probably karma.
So what happened to the White Orloff?
So the White Orloff, after being named after the Count, Catherine
poor Count.
Yes. Sorry, now I'm thinking about the unnecessary censorship. Have you ever seen any of those videos where
no.
they just censor things for no reason at all? And there's this wonderful, which I will post on Discord, there is this wonderful one from the Count from Sesame Street where they just censor. He sings this song about how much he loves to count, and they censor the word count. So he counts slowly, getting faster. And it just, it's a great song, but it's made into something really interesting when it's censored for no reason at all. Anyway, the Count, not the one who's being censored, but possibly should have been censored before he had some of these choices that he made. Catherine had her jeweler design a scepter incorporating the diamond. So now it is known as the Imperial Scepter, and it was completed in 1774. Today, the scepter, with the diamond included, resides in the Kremlin. The White Orloff is unique in that it retains its original Mughal cut.
After the grinding away.
Yes. So, not as much of the Mughal cut as previously existed, but it was not recut to modern standards. It was left in the original state after it was butchered by what's his bucket, Venetian Ortensio Borgio. Yes. So, yeah. So do we think that there really are cursed gemstones? Or is it all sound and fury hyped up to give these stones mystique? Or do we ever think it is a good idea to steal stones from sacred statues? I'm gonna say no!
Don't do it!
And my last question here really is, do we actually care if a gemstone is cursed?
If it's pretty enough? I don't know. I mean, so do we really think, did the Black Orloff actually, make Mr. Paris jump off the skyscraper? I mean, did he hear, little voices from the stone whispering, just do it, you can fly.
If he did, then, certainly Mr. Dennis never did, so...
Well, but that was after the stone was truncated into 3 pieces, 2 of which are still missing.
No, but all of that was after that.
No, Paris.
Oh, in the 50s.
In the 50s. Yeah, no. It was Winston who cut the stone into 3.
So maybe he did break
theirs, but I am still shocked and appalled that there's 130 carats of black diamond running around that nobody seems to know what happened to. There is also some speculation. So just to touch on a couple of the again, some of these articles are just I don't understand how people are paid to write these things, and
they may not be paid.
Oh God. But a couple of kind of wacko things in the articles. So first of all, I had one article that actually postulated that Nadia Vijin Orlov never even existed.
So the stone is named after someone who didn't exist.
Yeah, so the stone is named after somebody fictional. I don't know that that's actually, true. What was there was another wackadoodle thing.
That does sound implausible, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I would agree. I kind of dismissed that one as really, really rumor mongering. And there was another one, but I forgot it. So
I mean, do any of us really exist is another question.
But I mean, so I don't. Okay, don't steal gemstones from religious sites. Just don't do it.
No, don't steal anything from religious sites.
But I don't know.
Doesn't even matter if it's not your religion.
are there cursed gemstones, or are rich people just really crazy?
Well, I'm gonna throw it out there that all the royalty in Europe was
Inbred?
Yeah, pretty close genetically.
Yeah. So yes.
So a lot of rich people, yeah.
So it is interesting to think about, like, the problematic history of a lot of these stones, and then the tales that are spun around them, some of which may be true, some of which are probably just literally fluffing the reputations of these stones so they can be sold for more money.
Yes.
Or not sold in the case of blah blah blah. In the case of the Lao Tzu pearl. Hello, Ahmed. Welcome. We're just concluding talking about diamonds, cursed diamonds, too.
Yes.
The Black Orloff and the White Orloff. But I really think it's all just personally. I'm answering the question that you asked with my personal beliefs. I don't think that there are gemstones that have a curse. I think that there are people who do things and that certain energy follows them around, and then other things happen, and then sometimes they jump off of buildings.
I feel like a lot of people who manage to rise to a certain level of power and wealth are different from a lot of the people around them. Like, a lot of them do not have the same level of empathy, the same level of groundedness, the same ability to be a human in this world.
I mean, especially when you're talking about, like, the Russian aristocracy from the turn of the century. I mean,
yes.
Talk about, like, and Catherine the Great and all of that, like, just completely divorced from reality.
Yeah,
for sure.
The poor people they saw were their servants, who were like, I mean, servant, and if the servants were doing their jobs right, they didn't get seen. So, yeah.
So if somebody, Heather, handed you the Black Orloff and said, take this and wear it, would you?
Absolutely.
Cool. Me too. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
I don't even care if I would jump off a building after it. Like, it would be worth it to just wear, like, the big sparkly thing.
Yeah.
So I think that these diamonds are very beautiful, and I think that there's also a mystique that just goes along with that. Oh, that was the other wackadoo thing. I remembered. Ha! I have brain cells. There is about the Black Orloff. There is some dispute about, since it's supposedly originated in India, and the alluvial deposits of India are not really known for black diamonds. Mm-hmm. So there is actually modern day some speculation as to whether the Black Orloff even came from India in the first place. And once again, like, was it pried from the eye of an idol, or was that just something that somebody made up because it sounded cool? Yeah. And, and then maybe, Mr. Paris just jumped off of a skyscraper because, and again, inbred, Russian royalty, etc. Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting, and we shall continue to delve into the stories of supposedly cursed stones, historical stones. I think I do want to do a little bit more on the jewelry of Catherine the Great as well, because she had some great pieces. And
you're going to give me all the hard Russian names, aren't you?
I am 100%. And again, Carol's amazing.
Yes, it's true. Thank you for extra flavor from Carol.
Yes. So Heather, do you have any parting thoughts about any of these topics, aside from don't take gems from sacred statues? Just don't do it.
I'm also going to add, don't just indiscriminately grind down diamonds.
Right.
For no reason.
Also, don't jump off of buildings.
Don't jump off of buildings. We value you, and
yes.
And if you're, it's hard to
we
live
need
in this
you
world
here.
sometimes.
We only have 7 viewers. Nobody jump off a building.
No, we
need all 7 of you intact to listen to our podcast every other week.
Yes.
So,
thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode of The Button List with Allison and Heather. You can catch The Button List weekly on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. You can also watch our complimentary live tutorials every Wednesday and Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and twitch.tv/Beating Dreams.